So I'm coming from you somewhere in the middle of the Flatiron Mountain Range in Colorado. You can see I'm next to a stream. It's just a great opportunity to take in everything that God has made and appreciate it. But it's also part of a learning for me. And I'm going to go back to last week where I was meeting with one of my staff members, and we were sitting down in the conference room and we were talking about one of my clients, or one of our clients in particular. And the staff member was frustrated because we were doing everything we could. We were doing exactly what the client had asked us for. We were putting in 100% effort. And as this team member of mine is telling me this, and I'm getting a little irritated, I'm getting upset with the client. My knuckles are, I'm kind of grabbing the chair a little harder. I'm thinking, boy, this customer must really be a real pain. And then he goes on to tell me about what we've done and what we've decided we're not going to do, because the client hasn't met us halfway. So we're going to pull back, and we're not going to meet the client where we said we were going to meet. We were going to pull back. And it didn't click right away. And I actually told this individual to do what they think is necessary. And then the last couple of days, we're here in this beautiful area. I spent a couple of days with my wife here. And one of the things that we were talking about in the context of all of this is this idea of relationships, whether it be a business, whether it be personal, whether it be with your kids, your spouse, doesn't really make a difference. And there's this fallacy that I think we all fall into play on is, relationships are 50-50. It's I put in half, they put in half. I put in half, my wife puts in half. We as an organization put in half, the client's got to reciprocate and put in their half. But the more we talked about this, the more we had some discussion around it. It's relationships, whether they're business, whether they're personal, whether they're with friends, whether they're with family. These are not 50-50 endeavors. Relationships are meant to be 100-100 endeavors. It's not a 50-50 thing. It's you put in all in order to make sure the relationship works. Does it work every time? Absolutely not. But in relationships that are give and take, on days where you're trying to put in 100% but you can't, maybe you put in 80%, that other person puts in 100%. And if they don't, you at least can walk away saying, I put in 100%. We've got to stop this craziness on, hey, my wife's only putting in X, so I'm only going to put in X. Do you think she'll ever put in 100% if you're not doing it? Or in the case of the client, if the client's not putting in 100%, we're not putting in 100%. That's not the right thing to do. Regardless of what the client has put in, the client expects 100% and is ultimately paying us for 100%. So let me wrap it up this way. When you think about this giving 100%, you can take a look at your own self. And where are you putting in 50% or less, where you should be putting in 100%? Think about, are you giving 100% to yourself? Are you developing yourself in terms of fitness and in fuel, the things you eat, the exercise you do, or not? Think about your relationship to God. Are you really putting in 100%? Or is it something that 10% gets you by? Your relationship with your wife, your spouse, your husband, whatever the case might be. Are you putting in truly 100%? Or are you getting frustrated that maybe you don't think they're putting in 100%, so you put in less? And that vicious circle continues. And then ultimately, whether you're in business for yourself, whether you're an employee, whether you're going to school, are you truly putting in 100%? Take a look at yourself. Look, in a situation like this, God gave us 100% of everything He wanted us to have, and you can see it. Are we putting in 100%?